Good morning. I'll call the Kansas County Board of Commissioners meeting to order for today, January 7th, our first meeting of the year. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, welcome everybody today. Everybody in the audience. It's probably the biggest crowd we've had in a long time, and we probably have a pretty decent YouTube audience as well today. And today is kind of an important day. The first thing that we do um, on this, traditionally on this opening uh, part of the meeting, is to open with the invocation. I'm going to turn the floor over to Mr. Gardner to introduce our guests.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's my great pleasure as they come up to the podium to introduce to you my friends Abdi Mohammed. Abdi is the Executive Director of the Community Connector Services here in Wilmer and is with the Islamic Society of Wilmer. And Pablo Obregon. Pablo is the Director of Community Growth for the City of Wilmer, and he holds a Master's of Divinity with Luther Seminary. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today and for being a part of this day.
Good morning, Commissioners, Mr. Chair. Thank you for allowing us to be here and share the invocation.
Hold the mic just a bit towards you.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for allowing us to share the invocation this morning. Again, my name is Pablo Obregon, Director for Community Growth for the City of Wilmer. I've been a resident of the county since 1992, and I have had the opportunity to meet the wonderful people, not only of the Wilmer area, but also outside of the county. And my mother-in-law is a resident in New London, so I have to respect New London quite a bit.
My name is Abdi Fatah Mohammed, and I was living in Kanye for almost 8.5 years. Came from Kenya, and my dad lives here. He owns a business, so that's why.
Some of you have received this postcard, which is an invitation for our Martin Luther King event. This is our second year in a row that we are hosting it. I feel welcome to sign up by using the QR code and join us for that event. Let's bow our heads in prayer. God of all names, we come together from many traditions with diverse beliefs and practices, yet we are united in one shared humanity and a place we call Kandiyohi County, and our desire for a world of peace and understanding. We acknowledge the inherent worth of dignity of every human being and recognize that we are all interconnected, part of a single tapestry of life. May we find strength in our diversity and wisdom in our dialogue to break down the walls of divisions that separate us.
We are grateful for the beauty that surrounds us, for the peace that provides this land, and for the opportunity to witness the splendor of your creation. May we always cherish and protect this precious gift, ensuring that its beauty and bounty endure for the generation to come. Guide us toward the unit of purpose to work together for the common good, to help the ones of the past and build future where justice, compassion, and love prevail. May Kenya be a beacon of hope where all are welcomed and include where differences are celebrated and where we find the strength in our shared commitment to be a better county and better world.
Gracious God, we gather to celebrate our leaders within our community. We pray for them. We ask for your divine guidance and wisdom as these individuals step towards to serve. May they be filled with integrity, compassion, and a deep commitment to the well-being of all. Bless their endeavors, strengthen their resolve, and unite us all in a pursuit of a brighter future for our county. We offer this prayer with humility and gratitude, trusting in the power of unity to transform our lives, our county, and our world. Amen.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming in and sharing your thoughts with us. Appreciate it. All right, I gotta wake up my computer. No, I have a written one here. So the next item of business before we go into our general first meeting duties is the oath of office for newly elected officers of the county. And Mark Thompson is gonna give the oath from the auditor's office. You want us, where do you want us to?
Well, I think Commissioner Emdike, Commissioner Gardner, that you can just stand and right there would be fine. Mark Thompson, County Auditor. Again, we recently had two commissioners run for office, and Commissioner Emdike, Commissioner Gardner were reelected. So if you just want to repeat after me, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Roger Emdike,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of County Commissioner
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge
discharge the
the
county
County Commissioner
of the County of Candy, Ohio,
County of Candy, Ohio,
to which I have been elected to the best of my knowledge and ability.
to which I have
which I've been elected to the best of my knowledge and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And I apologize. We also have Val Swore, who was appointed. So I just want to include Val over here. So I will have your certificates signed and notarized and given to you. Next, we have 3 Soil Water Conservation District Supervisors that were elected. Steve Friedline, Jeffrey Martinka, and Jane Youngkrantz. If you 3 would want to come up. Do we have everybody here? Sure. Why don't you come up and stand in front here? Or you can stand off to the side. Maybe your newspaper wants to get a picture of you 3. You want to make sure he's got a good angle. So again, repeat after me. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Jeff Martinka,
Do you solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of the Soil and Water Conservation District. That I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of the Soil and Water Conservation District
duties
Of the-
of the Soil and Water Conservation District
of the County of Candy, Ohio.
of the County of Candy.
Sorry, I'm making that so long. I get my cutoff a little better. To which I have been elected
To which I have been elected
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
to the best of my knowledge and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Same thing I will. Thank you. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. All right, next up on our agenda is the election of officers for the coming year. I will open up the floor for nominations for Chair of the Board of Kennewick County Commissioners.
Mr. Chair, I nominate Steve Gardner for chair.
Commissioner Anderson nominates Commissioner Steve Gardner. Do I hear a second?
Mr. Chair, I'll second it.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson seconds. Are there any other nominations? Are there any?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we cease request for further nominations and cast unanimous ballot.
So a motion has been made to cease nomination, cast unanimous ballot. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we have the election of the vice chair. I'd open up the floor for nominations of vice chair.
Mr. Chair, I will nominate Commissioner Dwayne Anderson.
Commissioner Gardner nominates Commissioner Dwayne Anderson for vice chair of the Kennewick County Board. Do I hear a second?
Mr. Chair, I will second that.
Commissioner Gardner seconds. Are there any other nominations?
Bird.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Burke. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any
Mr.
other
Chair, I move
nominations?
nominations cease and we cast a unanimous ballot for Commissioner Anderson.
So a motion has been made to cease nomination and cast a unanimous ballot. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. We'll take a brief moment here while we switch chairs and Mr. Gardner takes over as chair. Welcome. Congratulations.
All right, well, practically seamless, so thank you very much. Um, Congratulations to all of the folks who were elected or re-elected to their various posts. I see the room is fairly well cleared out already. So, I want to thank my colleagues for their support for nominating me and electing me as the chair. So with that, we have the next item is the approval of the agenda. Yes.
I would make a recommendation, being that we have the newspapers here, to move up the newspapers to 9:15 and then move the reorganizational meeting following the newspaper bid.
That's an excellent suggestion. Any comments or issues with that? All right, hearing none, then we would accept a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chair, may I just first make a quick comment? First off, I want to congratulate yourself as well as Commissioner Emdek on your re-elections, but also I want to thank Commissioner Emdek for his 2 years of service as chair, and it's very much appreciated. As I think we all understand what it's like being chair and the extra responsibilities and headaches you carry with it, and time you take away from your family. So thank you. But also, I want to thank you, Commissioner Gardner, for stepping forward to being chair, and wishing you the best, and looking forward to working with you. And I would make that motion, whatever that was.
To approve the agenda.
To approve the agenda. Yes.
All right. We have a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Dale Anderson. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion carries. Thank you. Within the agenda, we also have the consent agenda. Typically the non-controversial items that are quite routine. And this morning we have two. One is the approval of the December 17th, 2024 County Board legal minutes, and the other is the approval of the auditor's warrants and claims. Is there any desire to pull either one of these items from the consent agenda? Hearing none, then I would accept a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson moves. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Dale Anderson seconds. Discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion carries. We will at this time then move to the 10 a.m. item, which we moved up here out of respect for the time of the participants today. So this is the resolution 2025-1 selection of Candy, Ohio County's official newspaper for 2025. And I would ask Auditor Mark Thompson to come to the stand and lead this off for us.
Thank you, Chairman Gardner. I believe it was 2 weeks ago that we heard previous board meeting that we had opened these bids from the Lakes Area Review, and I see Ted is here, and we also have the West Central Tribune here, and we had again, we only had the 2 bids. The bids were read at that time. You have the information in your packet. You've had some time to go through them. And if you have any questions of either Ted or from the representative for West Central Tribune, by all means, I guess now would be the time to ask those questions. Or if you have any questions of myself.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner
I
Emdek.
do have a question of the known office of issue for the 2 newspapers, where your known office of issue is.
I'm sorry, what was that?
For the newspaper representatives, where is their known office of issue? I mean, where's their main office?
New London,
Okay,
the Lakes Area Review, and I believe there's many cities that you affiliate with, Ted, if you're based out of Ergovan? Or is it?
Our overall business is based out of Owen, but our Lakes Area Review is based out of
London. Okay, and of course, West Central Tribune is Wilmer.
so isn't the home office in Fargo?
Oh,
West Central Tribune is a separate business from owned by Fargo Forum. Forum Communications, which is in Fargo. Our home office is on Trout Avenue here in Wilmer.
But no paper can have 2 offices.
What's your question?
Where your office of issue is. When I buy news advertising, I pay my bill to Fargo, to the office in Fargo.
The building is out of Fargo, yes.
Okay, so
But
that is
our office is in Wilmer, 2208 Trout Avenue, Southwest.
all right. Thank you.
So we have received information from your office, Mark, that indicates the bids. Would you just, for the public, give us a brief synopsis of those bids?
do you have a copy?
If
I didn't bring one with.
no,
Oh,
and I apologize.
No, I apologize.
Ask-
I figured you had it in your
whatever you
Yeah, we have it.
in your board
Okay.
packet, board minutes, and
Not the actual bid.
I just didn't take an extra copy with. I'm sure she's got one here. So. Again, I apologize for that.
No worries.
So I do have it here. Thank you, Melissa. What would you like me to just give the initial rates? I don't think you want me to read through it all again.
No, don't need you to go over all of
Okay.
it. Just for the general public.
Okay, real good. Lakes Area Review. Their bid based on standard advertising unit for the first printing would be $9. And the SAU rate for the second and any additional printing would also be $9. And then they would allow a discount after 1,290 SAU inches printed. That discount would be 11%. So it would knock it down to $8 per standard advertising unit. And $8 for any repeats. West Central Tribune, their bid proposal per standard advertising unit on the first insertion is $10. Their bid per standard advertising unit printing on the second legal notice There's a 25% discount, $7.50. So anything that you guys have, they do have copies of your initial bid. So that was in your board packet.
Yeah, and that's great. Let's just invite them up here, and if they want to express anything else in regard to their bids, that'd be great.
Kelly Bolden, the West Central Tribune. Wilmer. We've bid at the $10, $7.50 for the second printing. Our circulation is significant in the county. Also include free to the county, the distribution on our website, and also on the Minnesota Public Notice website on both of those. That in the simple terms is our bid. Any questions?
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Will you share a little bit more information about a little bit more detail about the different, how often the newspaper comes out and what forms it comes out in, and how many days a week it's available?
We print twice a week, Wednesday and Friday with a print edition. We print 6 days a week with an electronic edition, and our website is published 7 days a week.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Mr. Bolden? All right.
Thank you for your consideration.
Mr. Almain?
Ted Almain, Lake Shore Review. I first of all want to say I think the county is fortunate to have two good newspapers, and Kelly is a good friend of mine. We both serve on the newspaper association board together, so whoever wins this bid is going to have to buy the other guy dinner, right? But anyway, we represent probably the northern part of the county, New London Spicer. We freely circulate everybody there. We send out about 6,800 newspapers every week. We publish once a week. We also have a pretty solid editorial presence with the county. We try to do that. We have had 1 year of experience. We did do it a couple of years ago. I think it went okay as far as that's concerned. I didn't hear any complaints from the county. So yeah, we'd appreciate your consideration. I wish there a way we could both have it, to be honest. If there are any questions, I would be willing to answer.
Are there any questions for Ted?
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Byrd?
Thank you. I really want to elaborate on, yes, we are so lucky in our county to have two newspapers like this, and two very different newspapers in many aspects, and that's good. I think that's really great that we have that, and the coverage of Kaneohe County has been very good in both newspapers in many ways. So I want to thank you for that, and hopefully we can continue to have two newspapers. That's just terrific. I would like to ask you the same question too. Would you share a little bit details about when your print is available and in what
we publish every Saturday, and so we actually are in the mail, I guess, when Friday afternoons, Saturday mornings. We are once a week paper. And we are also part of the Minnesota Newspaper Association, which has the, as Kelly had mentioned, the uploading of the legal notices to the website.
Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Imdick?
Mr. Chair, I would like to move to make the Lakes Area Review the official newspaper of Kaneohe County for 2025.
There's a motion by Commissioner Imdick to select the Lakes Area Review as the official newspaper. Is there a second?
I'm going to second it just for discussion purposes.
Commissioner Dale Anderson seconds. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner
So-
Emdek.
Last year, we used the West Central Tribune. They did a good job. The year before, we used Lakes Area Review, and we didn't receive any complaints, to my knowledge, of the service that we got from the Lakes Area Review. And this is not setting any kind of precedent in terms of circulation or full circulation. Um, Stearns County uses the Cold Spring Record for their official newspaper. Stearns County is a county of about 170,000 people, and the circulation of the Cold Spring Record is probably similar or even smaller than the Lakes Area Review. Hennepin County, of over 1 million people, uses basically an advertising piece for their official newspaper. So all of the information that we put out is available on the Kaneohe County's website. And I think that we should take advantage of saving a few dollars for the taxpayers and take the lower of the two bids.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else? Commissioner Dale Anderson.
Well, I want to thank both the papers. I'm really torn on this. I struggle with this. This is probably my worst decision I think we make. And it shouldn't be that complicated and it shouldn't be that serious. I agree with you that it would be nice to just let both of the papers have it equally and we would just share it together. I mean, I would honestly say we got the best people in the all the counties that I talk to for people seeing the papers from the New London. Ralph does an excellent job. You know, from the Wilmer paper, we do an excellent job. Shelby does an excellent job. So I really am really torn about picking one paper to be the person that gets this job. I really am. And I have fears if we do it one way, we're going to lose a little bit of the paper from another way. And if we do it a different way, we're going to lose a little paper from the other way. So I really am torn about how to vote on this. And I really want to thank both of the people that are in our room every 2 weeks for the job they've done, because they've done an exceptional job.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'll just make the similar comment that the work that newspapers do, especially today in this age of frankly lies and disinformation, is absolutely vital. And I want to thank all of you for this. It's not just a business, but it's a public service. It's a public good. And thank you so much for all of your efforts in that. Does anyone else wish to speak to the motion? Hearing none, then we will vote on the motion to approve the Lakes Area Review as the official newspaper. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Aye. Motion fails.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the West Central Tribune as the official newspaper.
There's a motion to approve the West Central Tribune as the official newspaper. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Seconded by Commissioner Dwayne Anderson. Discussion.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Emdek.
I agree with all the things that have been said about both papers, but I have concern about the qualifications as listed in Minnesota State statute regarding qualified newspaper. There's a lot of things in there that need to be covered, and I don't think the West Central Tribune with their offices in Fargo any longer covers that. The other part of it is that they're supposed to be printed. If it's a daily, it's supposed to be printed 5 days a week, which isn't happening anymore. So when the West Central Tribune or Fargo Forum made those decisions, essentially they disqualified themselves to being an official newspaper.
We will, has the county attorney any thoughts on this question?
I did some research last night, and first I think the board's in a factually limited situation because there's about 10 criteria, and neither paper has provided all those details. Obviously, the corporate structures that way. I mean, of course, WCC was owned by CES, so are they out of Minneapolis, or are they out of New York City? The case, so you're in a limited factual situation, and given that, I think you should rely on what you've done over as long as I can remember, is consider both as qualified. Both of them have said they're counties, newspapers in this county, so I don't know why we put ourselves in a position of taking a contrary view to what they themselves are taking. And third, I think that puts, if you choose, there's only one applicable newspaper, and in the future, that newspaper is able to charge whatever they want because it's the only one you can buy. And I would not advise to put yourself in that position. Give yourself two choices, choose from the two.
Are there any questions of the county attorney? What's that?
I just have a comment.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson.
Mr. Chair, thank you. What I really like about the West Central Tribune is that it's offered digitally online. I don't get newspapers anymore, just because for me, they clutter up things, and I just like the convenience of being online. A couple of years ago when we had Lake Surrey Review, that was one of my concerns, but I know they did a fantastic job. But I also would like that, if they could in the future, and it's not required by law, but if they could go digitally, that would help a lot of people, and people could access information more quickly. That's kind of basically what I'm putting my decision on. Both bids are very close, I think. So I that's why I put my support behind the West Central Tribune.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments, thoughts? To the question of printing, I guess today in a digital world, what does that actually mean? If we're talking, a physical newspaper, that's one thing, but quite frankly, I think the Tribune has a digital presence 24/7, 365. I don't see that as disqualifying in the least.
Mr. Chair, the statute does point out that it is to be printed in English in a newspaper format and in a column and sheet format equivalent to printed space at least 800 square inches. So if it's a daily.
And yet we have the county attorney expressing a different opinion. When you, Kelly, if you would come back up for just a second. So when you offer the West Central Tribune digitally, you actually, subscribers actually get to see an image of the newspaper. So it is in that column inch format. I mean, it's the same as seeing the
E-paper is the
physical
same
newspaper, yes?
as a print paper, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same duplicated image.
Okay. Are your subscribers seeing a huge difference in one product over the other? I mean, as a subscriber
The
can
legal,
also like to get the
public
physical
notices are the same.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? All right, hearing none, then we will move on to the question. The motion is to approve the West Central Tribune as the official newspaper for Candido High County. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
4 ayes, 1 nay. The motion is agreed to. Then we also, I believe, have a second motion that we help me out with the verbiage, please.
You have to place a secondary official newspaper as well.
So is there a motion to appoint a secondary official newspaper?
I so move, Mr. Chair. Area Lakes Review to be a secondary newspaper.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Berg. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Dale Anderson seconds. Discussion. During the-
No, I
Go
want to
ahead.
just say again, I want to thank them guys that do so much work. I think that the New London paper has done an exceptional job as being our secondary paper last year. And sometimes I enjoy reading Ralph's articles. Sometimes I enjoy reading Shelby's articles. So, I mean, I think they've both done an exceptional job, and I hope in the future we continue doing the exceptional jobs that you guys have done for the primary and secondary. Thank you.
Thank you. And my apologies. I should have seen that this is actually our resolution 2025-1 that was should be referenced in terms of the approval of the official newspaper. Anything else on this topic? I'm sorry. Oh, call the question, of course. All those in favor of approving the Lakes Area Review as the secondary official newspaper for Candido-Hyde County, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. All right, we are at the annual organizational meeting for the public. This is where we work out our various committee assignments and so forth. And those can range from anything that meets maybe once a year, if that, to various committees that meet monthly or even more frequently. And they can be at a local, state, or state level. So with that, I think we'll work off of the two documents. The first is the committee quick guide that you all should have. And then, and I have these actually separately as well, but then we also have the larger document that also indicates to us by and large the meeting dates and times and places and so on and so forth. So without any further ado, let's start at the very top. Planning and zoning. Currently, Commissioner Imdek is our primary representative, and I am the alternate. I do want to suggest that I drop from being the alternate. It seems that most everything that happens is out in the primarily in the northern part of the county, and I would like to suggest Commissioner Dale Anderson be the alternate for the Planning Commission. Any thoughts, comments? You'd be agreeable to that?
That's fine.
Anyone else? And we'll good question. We will go through all of these and then we'll approve everything all at once. So rather than separate items. So we will scratch my name and then put Dale in. Whoops. All right. Next would be Supporting Hands Nurse Family Partnership. I'm the current representative on that, and Dale is the alternate. Any questions, comments, requests on that one? Okay, then we're good to move on that. Third, then Candido-Hyde-Renville Community Health Board. Currently, Commissioner Imdek and I are the representatives on that. Any changes necessary there? Okay. Green Lake Sanitary Sewer and Water District, Commissioner Imdek, that is in his district, and he is the representative, and I believe has been for quite a number of years. And
well, technically, Mr. Chair, for me, technically, Commissioner Anderson and the other Commissioner Anderson, I think that's it, are also have portions of their district. But when I tried to get off of that commission last year, they weren't having it. So keep that role.
All right.
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to comment too with your experience and history with that. I think that your experience would be very valuable to stay on there. And appreciate if you would stay on there.
Sure.
All right. Any other thoughts? And we'll keep that as is. Thank you. Board of Adjustment is the board as a whole. Extension Committee, we have,
Mr. Chair, can I ask a quick,
yes,
did you mean the Board of Adjustment or the Board of Equalization?
it says on this quick guide adjustment.
That's what.
That's a subcommittee of the,
Yeah,
plan-
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I don't know that we have a commissioner sitting on that.
No, that's, well, oh, I understand what you're doing.
Yeah. It's Board of Equalization.
Seems to me the Board of Adjustment is, Bonnie Watson from Doug Dietz. Yeah, yeah. So,
Doesn't it need to come up though for board as a whole, Eric and I would remember after
Yeah.
based on
Maybe.
decision, so that's where the board as a whole would need to find out.
Well,
Because
Then-
we still run it through planning and zoning.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, and
then, that could very well be true, but in 12 years, we've never had one come in front of the board, so, that's why I question whether or not the Board of the Whole is the Board of Adjustment. But maybe we should distinguish between the members that you just talked about and the county board. Because we don't call the county board, the Board of Planning and Zoning, we don't say is Board of the Whole either. So some distinguishing text there would be helpful.
all right, so are we good on that as it stands, or do we need to do anything else with that?
It's fine as it stands.
Okay.
We could just, Mr. Chair, thank you, Mr. Chair. Could we go Board of Equalization / adjustment?
No, not equalization,
No.
two different things.
Yeah, okay, so we can't.
This is more through planning and
So
zoning.
you want this totally through there, okay.
All right, we'll leave that as it stands. And then Extension Committee, Commissioners Dale and Dwayne Anderson are representatives on that committee. Anyone wish to make any changes? And we'll let that stand. Housing and Redevelopment Authority is next. I'm the board liaison to the HRA, and I'd like to continue on that. All right. Woodland Centers. Commissioner Berg and myself have been representing the county board there for the last, probably a year and a half, year and 8 months, something like that. And they have now changed their bylaws to where we're going to have just one of us be representing the county, and that should be Commissioner Berg.
Mr. Chair, yes.
Commissioner Berg.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I would like to stay on that committee. I've been on that committee now for several years, and I would, with the reorganization that they're having taken place, I would appreciate to be on this opportunity.
Okay.
And just to clarify too, Commissioner Gardner, your being on the board is kind of was a change of tradition over the many years. The Health and Human Services Director was on that board, and when that person didn't work out for them to be on the board, that's when you volunteered, and I appreciate your time on that board and committees.
Thank you.
There's several subcommittees on it as well. So, and now it'll be interesting to see how, with narrowing down for each county, only have one county commissioners. The subcommittees might get larger. You never know.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just have a question on that. Should there be an alternate appointed?
No,
No,
their bylaws are not allowing for an alternate.
So, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so easy to think of them being like a joint powers, and they're really a nonprofit. It's been structured that way. We're such a part of that. But it's a good question, but according to their bylaws,
I know there's another.
Yeah,
I think
good question.
have that.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Pioneer Regional Library, Commissioner Dwayne Anderson and Commissioner Dale Anderson are currently serving on that. Do you wish to continue to serve?
Yep, I'll stay on
Yep.
All right. Without objection. Then Community Corrections Advisory Council, Commissioners Berg and Imdeck currently represent us. Do you wish to continue?
Mr. Chair, I'd very much like to continue again as a committee I'm very much interested in. Uh, I had a double major in college many years ago, and it was in community corrections or corrections. So I am interested in what's going on there. And I find it very helpful.
Outstanding. And Commissioner Imdeck wishes to continue as well.
Yeah, unless somebody has a burning desire to be a part of that, you know, I've been a part of it for a number of years now, and do enjoy the goings on there.
Okay. Well, hearing no one stepping up, then we'll continue as is. So thank you. Veteran Services Advisory Council, Commissioner Dwayne Anderson and Administrator Baker are currently representing us there. Dwayne, you wish to continue?
Yep, I'd like to stay on there.
Okay. All right. North Fork Crow River Watershed District, currently Commissioner Imdeck and Commissioner Dale Anderson are the representative and alternate respectively.
I would, if it's okay with Commissioner Anderson, I would suggest we reverse those, that I be the alternate, because during the spring, fall, or spring, summer, and fall, they meet at the same hour as planning and zoning.
Hmm.
So in the winter months, I can meet because they meet during the day, but so I don't know, Dale. It's Monday. I think it's usually the first Monday of the month at 7:00 in Dayton.
Yeah, I do have a conflict with that too, but I could make it work maybe, but
And they haven't complained that, I can't get there during those months, but so if you have a conflict, we'll just keep going the way it is.
yeah, I do have another meeting at that same time.
And actually, the only area that the North Fork goes through Candioi County is over by Regal. I don't think it's even in your district.
No, not in mine, no.
Middle Fork is, but
Yep.
So we will leave that as
leave that.
All right, thank you. AIS Task Force, Commissioner Dwayne Anderson is our representative, Dale Anderson is the alternate. Any changes requested there? All right. And we're on to internal committees and appointments. Allied Radio Matrix, Armors. Dwayne Anderson is our representative, and I'm the alternate on that. And you happen to be the chair of that organization now as well. So
Yes.
you'll want to stay on.
It was kind of a railroad job, but yeah, it's important. I think that we have continuity on there if we can. So
Understood. Anyone have a burning desire to be the alternate? Otherwise, I'll stay on there. This was an appointment of mine my first 2 years. So
Well, and it's always beneficial to have a commissioner if the alternate can absolutely make it, because they count the meetings that we attend.
Them are
for
important.
money. So if you're gonna take
About
that
the
on,
money.
you have to make sure if Wayne can't make it, you can.
all right, we'll leave that the same. Next, Broadband Committee, Dwayne Anderson and Roger Imdeck are our representatives there. Wish to continue?
I do.
Okay. Outstanding. Budget and Finance is the board as a whole. Buffer Drainage and Ditch Legal Counsel is Drinking Unit.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Berg?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a word, just for some thoughts to think about, we have a budget and finance board as a whole. And kind of traditionally, I think there was a subcommittee with basically the administrator and the chair and the vice chair. And so I'm assuming that it doesn't have to be appointed, but something I want to just throw out there to think about that, some counties have a separate, not the chair and the vice chair automatically, but appoint a committee to be a subcommittee for the budget process with the administrator, 2 people. And the reason I mention that is I just was talking to somebody from another county, and they have somebody on their board who's an accountant. Well, this person was interested, so that's how some counties are set up, as those people, somebody who would be interested in being on that, really digging into the weeds a little bit with the administrator, might be more valuable going forward versus just automatically somebody would have that role as a chair or vice chair. But something to think about. And I'm not suggesting we change that this year, but just go forward.
Thank you. Any other thoughts, comments on budget and finance? I like the idea of the chair and vice chair just because it allows us then that deeper dive into the budget, how that's put together, and I think that's pretty important for especially for an incoming board.
Yes, Mr. Chair, may just add though, but maybe some vice chair or chair may not want a deeper dive, so we don't know.
Thank you. All right, on the next page then, because we took care of that. Building committee. And
If I may,
yes,
I left this blank because technically it was the chair and then Dale. But if Roger wishes to stay on, we'll leave that on because then that does create some consistency as well. We're in the middle of a space study.
yeah, and Commissioner Indeck did indicate to me that that he wished to remain on that.
I was wondering if that was an oversight or that we didn't fill in the blanks. So Roger.
And then Dale is the other representative on that building committee.
Yep.
Very good, thank you. Buildings, public lands, and jail inspections, that's the board as a whole. Central Minnesota Jobs and Training Services. Dwayne Anderson took this 2 years ago, and when I needed to clear up a little meeting space, and I do appreciate that. And now you've indicated to me you wish to continue.
Yeah, they've had a huge turnover on that committee, so I think it would be harder for them if another person left, and so there's going to be at least a couple that'll be leaving that committee from different counties, and so I think I almost have to. I feel like I almost have to stay on there.
And I agree with that, knowing that history a little bit. I would stay as alternate unless someone else has a burning desire to take that spot. And we'll leave that as is. Central Minnesota Transit. And Dwayne, you're currently on that, but you've indicated that you'd like to get off of that, and I'm available to take that.
Yeah, I have too many conflicts on the day that's held. Last year, I was only able to attend it about half the time because of that, the conflicts.
And then Dale is our other representative on there. So I'm proposing to sub in for Dwayne. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chair, I think that would be an excellent.
Commissioner Berg.
It'd be a good place for that.
Very good, thank you. All right, moving forward, Chamber Public Policy, that's Administrator Baker. Chippewa River Watershed, Dale and Dwayne Andersons are the representative and alternate. Dale's the representative, Dwayne's the alternate. Do we need? Are we good there? Okay. Convention and Visitors Bureau, I'm happy to continue in that role, and Commissioner Berg is our current alternate. You've served on that previously.
Yes, I have, in both positions.
All right. Counties providing technology, Commissioner Imdek as the representative, and I've served as the alternate. I think I covered three meetings, but otherwise, Roger's taken all of those. Roger, you prefer to stay on that?
Yes, please.
All right.
And it's not proving technology, it's providing, because
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't prove a damn thing.
Knowing the struggles all of us up here have with technology, we feel your pain. So Roger is the representative, and myself as the alternate. Yes. County Recorder Compliance and GIS Committee. Dwayne, you serve on that. Are you fine with continuing?
Yeah, I haven't been called to a meeting yet, so.
That's a great committee.
Yeah.
All right. County Road and Bridge is the board as a whole. Data Practice Authority is our county attorney. Drug Task Force, Dwayne Anderson is our representative. Dale Anderson is our alternate. Do you wish to continue in that?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. And Dale, same.
Yep.
All right. Flood control, drainage, and soil conservation is the board as a whole. Glacial Ridge Trail, Dale Anderson is our representative, and Roger Imdek is our alternate. Are we good with that arrangement?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Does that?
Hawk Creek Watershed District, Commissioner Berg is our representative, and Commissioner Dwayne Anderson is our alternate. And this kind of holds for the next item down, which is the Hawk Creek One Watershed, One Plan. Same arrangement there. Do you wish to continue on those?
Mr. Chair, thank you. Yes, I will. I would also like to open it up to anybody else who would be interested. The Hawk Creek hits several districts, let's put it that way. And Wilmer, my district, it kind of hits your district. I think Dwayne is a big part of your district, as well as some of your districts as well. So if anybody would want to, Commissioner Nissen, former Commissioner Nissen, was on that for 1 year, and then they took it back from him. But I'm certainly open to share that. They both meet on the same day. Actually two different boards, though, and they do things a little bit differently. So, but they meet the same day, and things are going really well there. I feel so with our joint powers with One Watershed Plan. So if anybody's interested or sharing that, I'd be happy to share that with them if they want.
I have a question, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner,
Do both of you attend those meetings?
I don't.
Okay. What is the day that they, it just says quarterly, but it doesn't say if it's a day of the
I
week?
have to go to my calendar. I was going to say the second Wednesday or
I
Thursday.
think all five of us have
Part of
our district.
Yes. I mean, you would have Eagle Lake, I think, right? And the Eagle Lake is the headwaters. So that's really an important area. There's no doubt about that.
So knowing the date would be,
Yes. We don't have the dates on that.
Not on that one, no.
Well, I'd have to look up over the computer.
and they meet in Olivia, right?
I love my new computer, but I have not got it synced with my calendar on my personal one, which I have everything that I have to go to so often. Maybe while I'm looking this up,
Yeah, we can move
just
on.
and I'll come back to that. but-
Also look, or I'm sure you know this, where do they meet?
Pardon me?
Where are the meetings held?
In the building here.
Oh, here,
Yes. So,
every month.
every month, and one meets at 10 o'clock and one meets at 1 or 1:30. Yeah, 1:30.
Every month or quarterly?
Quarterly, rather. I'm sorry, I said every month.
But always here, not alternating between.
Nope, always here.
Yeah.
So,
well, while you're looking that up, we'll continue forward with this. Health and Human Services Committee, that is myself and Commissioner Berg. Actually, you're not an alternate, you're primary on that as well. And I'm happy to remain on that.
Mr. Chair, when we set up that committee, part of the motion was that the vice chair be one of those members.
I believe that's correct.
So that would be Dwayne in the upcoming year. You didn't know you got a new committee, did you?
Okay, well,
Well, so then let's, when do we meet on that? We have a schedule.
Yes,
I believe, yes.
yes, and that's I believe it's the
Second Monday at noon.
Yeah.
Second Monday, so your next meeting would be January 13th.
Yeah.
12:01.
Yep, next Monday is our next meeting. Noon.
At what time?
Noon.
Noon.
Okay, well, county extension committee is at the same time, but Dale's on that one, so we probably have it covered, so that'll work for me, I guess.
Mr. Chair, if I may just comment too, Commissioner Anderson, Dale Anderson, you expressed some interest in being on that committee before. I would very much like being on that committee, but I also have a lot of contacts with the administrator there as well in reference to the other committees that overlap with the Health and Human Services. And you know, if you would be, if you would want to like alternate, I'm not sure, maybe that'd be too confusing too, every other time, because you were saying, making a strong point a few months ago that you wanted to learn more about it. And I was thinking, maybe that'd be a good way to do it, we could alternate. But I'm fine keeping it as well.
Well, and if it is both the two Andersons, we could always find another time if that were to be the case. If we,
the only time that the only conflict I have too is that.
you're both on extension.
Right. That's the only one that I can see when I just look through.
Well, I'm not trying to get rid of it at all, but I know.
But no, I would love to. I would be interested. Yeah, I would.
But I don't want to totally give it up either. I was thinking, well, this is a good compromise.
Well, is there, and I'm just gonna ask the question, is there anything that says it has to be the vice chair?
What could be, if somebody else wants to be on that county extension committee, well, I'm vice chair, I mean, that's, you can do that. Be willing to be on
Go back on extension. When do you meet?
there. It's 3 times a year.
3 times a year on that second Monday of February, June, and November.
I think that would work.
Yeah, it's February, June, and November.
The second Monday of the month.
Yep.
Well, then, wait, no. So February 10, it would only be one meeting that I would miss. Because June and November would be on the first, would be the first month.
Yeah.
First Monday, right?
So I'd only miss the February, but that's kind of one of the important ones. I think that's when we decide who the Farmer of the Year is going to be.
Right.
And like I said, if it's new members,
But it, you know, if
we
you
can easily change the date.
It probably makes more sense for the two of you to remain on because you're more involved in the agriculture part of it. Although to be clear, there's a lot of things involved with the extension besides ag and 4-H. If you want to get off, I would be willing to serve.
maybe it worked better if I was off.
Okay.
For at least for these 2
That might
years.
be good. In extensions. Good growing and changing.
Yeah.
Where is it? Oh, we're not to extension yet. Okay.
No, we already did.
No, we
Okay.
did.
Yeah, we already did that.
We'll take Dwayne off and add Roger for extension and Dale. Right?
Yep.
Commissioner Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just would, I guess, like to thank Commissioner MDAC, but just to kind of point out too, I'm not sure how accurate it was. It's really hard to decide or look at, you know, how busy you are with different committees. You know, some have subcommittees, some are just pretty routine meeting every month or whatever. So it's hard to judge that. But I noticed just looking over how things are laid out before, and Commissioner Emdek has a lot of committees, and yeah, just want to point that out. And I want to thank you for volunteering to take more up at this point.
Well, we're not done yet. There's a couple I might.
You're not done. You're trying to get rid of some too. And I think all of us are feeling pretty full with our committees we do have already, time-wise. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right, so then on the extension, we're going to scratch Commissioner Dwayne Anderson and put in Commissioner Imbeck, yes?
Yep.
All right, and then over on the other side, Health and Human Services, we're going to have Dwayne and Commissioner Burke, yes?
Oh, okay, I had Dwayne and Dale. You're still staying on there.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, that was kind of up to Dale.
That's up to
And if
everybody.
the board would think it'd be appropriate, and,
You don't have that conflict with me.
and Mr. Chair, if I may,
you may.
Administrator Baker, would that be an issue to alternate every other time for one of those positions? Would that make it more complicated?
It could be, but it'd be nice then, like, you could be the alternate, so when Dale has to go to, you know, if we kept that date and time, then
Then
you could come.
Corky could be the alternate. I don't care. I just want
Yeah.
everybody's got to agree.
How many times would it be like to be an alternate? Because I would like to attend more than once or twice a year,
I only have that one day as a conflict.
just one day.
Well, there's nothing saying you can't as an alternate attend, right?
It would be 3 then.
Oh, it's a quorum.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care either way. That's up to everybody in the room. I'm fine either way.
Well, I know that that's a difficult one for you to give up, given your
but,
long-standing background.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking, well, why don't we do it every other time? But if it'd be too confusing, and because sometimes the issues can carry over to the next time, but it hasn't much yet at this point. Or that the type of issues we're not making decisions, it's more informing the board, which normally would have been done at the whole board. We want to work that out.
Right, and we do have this scheduled 4 work sessions.
Yeah.
And those have been confirmed with Caroline and staff, just like the road and bridge.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys. I do think I see your point, and I also see your point, Dale, for being a new commissioner.
Yeah.
And it is so robust and educating. You could try it 1 year and feet wet a little bit, and I'll come back. It's up to you guys.
Yeah, we could, yeah. And I'm in more contact. Let's put it that way on some of the committees now. And now they got our phone number and stuff, so that really helps a lot that you answered it. So thank you. It doesn't matter. Again,
It's up to Corky. I don't care either way. I mean, it can be either way.
Well, I'm going to suggest that we that Commissioner Bird remain on this committee,
and you can
and then Dwayne
do it. Okay.
Is added to that as well.
Dale could be the alternate.
In case one of the two of you couldn't make it.
And that's, Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
That's a good point, because both you and I, we've had a hard time scheduling with our schedules, because the second Monday doesn't always work out because of holidays or whatever, and then trying to find another time. And I know 1 month where you attended, and I just said, go ahead and attend, because we're not going to find a date this month.
Yeah. I think that's better now, though.
Okay.
That happened early on. So.
No, that's fine.
That coming up or whatever.
Sounds good.
All right. Great. Sorry it took so long.
No worries. All right, we're gonna move forward then. Historical Society, Dale, you are the representative and Dwayne is the alternate, yes?
Yep.
Continue with that arrangement?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Humane Society, I'm the representative and Corky is the alternate and I'd like to remain there. That's a longstanding interest of mine. And Corky, yes, go ahead.
Oh, no, when you're done with that, then I have a date for the,
And you'd be able to continue as alternate?
yes, it would be.
Thank you. And now we have a couple of task force that I don't think have met. One is the Highway 7 Task Force, Dwayne, you're the representative there. And then the Highway 12 Task Force, myself, and then Dwayne as an alternate.
Which one? Oh, I see. 12.
And Mel, do you want to talk about those robust task force?
Mr. Mr. Chair, members of the board, we have not met in 10 years. And I've been on it for, I would suggest to the board that we would maybe consider eliminating it and starting it if it starts again.
All right,
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Imdak.
if we modify any of these, as Mr. Odens just suggested, let's do that at another meeting rather than at this meeting. To say, if we're gonna eliminate this, do it as a resolution or something at another meeting.
Were they added as a resolution?
I have no idea. Bet you nobody was around.
I mean, we're going to have we're going to move all of these at the very end. I don't see why we couldn't, if the recommendation is to just do away with them for now, I don't see a problem with that.
All right, then I would move that we remove Highway 7 and Highway 12 task force from our committee assignments.
All right, we can do that. I don't think a motion is necessary.
We get it on the record.
There's a motion to eliminate Highway 7 Task Force and the Highway 12 Task Force from our list. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Commissioner Dwayne Anderson. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Turning, Commissioner Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do have the date now for the Hot Creek
yes,
project and
thank
One
you.
Watershed Plan. And it is on the second Wednesday of every month, 10 o'clock in the morning and 1:30 in the afternoon.
Mr. Chair, second of every month or the quarter?
Every quarter. I keep saying every month. Sorry.
And did you have the months of it?
Pardon me? Yes, the month, well, the next one is February 12th.
And then equal.
Yep.
So February, May.
Just to clarify, if I may, is that the watershed district or the one watershed, one plan? They both. So that'll both review that, okay.
So, somebody has a calendar on, is that February, May?
August and November,
August?
Yep. I think we did November.
if it's quarterly.
Yep.
February, May, August, and what?
November.
November? What was the first thing you answered? Day, the first Wednesday, the first Wednesday of
Second Wednesday.
Second Wednesday. Yeah.
I'd just prefer to stay as alternate.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a NACO committee meeting that hour.
Okay.
So otherwise, I was interested in it, but I have a NACO meeting.
All right. So Commissioner Berg?
I'll stay on it. No
You'll stay
problem.
on it?
No problem.
All right. Very good. Thank you, everybody, for taking a look at that. Highway 23 Coalition, Commissioner Imdak is our representative, and Dale, you're a representative on that as well, yes?
Well, I kind of just seen that.
I'm wondering too. I didn't know that we had two on the other ones in the past, but
Yeah, I don't know how that's set up, but yeah, I didn't realize that before, so.
I think it's an error, but I don't think it matters that much.
Mr. Chair, when does that one meet then?
Depends upon if you're on a committee. Like I'm on a legislative committee. I think we met once a year, didn't we, Mel, for the legislative?
It's like quarterly.
And then just because you're on this coalition doesn't mean that you get selected for that committee. They do that. The coalition does that.
All right, so Mel, do you do you have anything on this in particular as to whether we have two representatives or not?
Mr. Chair.
We're thinking not.
Or it would make more sense if we're gonna, see, we have some precedent of staff being on, maybe it'd make more sense for Mel to be on that coalition, because you serve on one of those committees too, don't you, or they ask you to?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we were maybe perhaps more involved with before the South and North Gap were developed, but I think it's good to stay at least one person on and maybe staff because of the work that's going around the New London area for sure. And then as it goes down south of Walmer in this county, all the way to the Priam area. So I think it's something that we need to have a pretty strong presence on for the next few years, at least, like 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be more than happy to assist the board, wherever that is. I don't know. I mean, I think if a staff is on there, maybe one commissioner, but any, I'm open to whatever.
Dale, any thoughts?
No, I don't have any thoughts. I mean, Roger's been doing it for a long time, so it's up to him.
So, Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yes.
the other thing to Mel's point is usually a county has to apply for any grants that we apply for. And because Highway 23 has got its biggest presence, right, and they tend to look at Mel, like it or not, to do the applications for those grants.
Well, one of the highest priority right now for construction is the south piece, and that would be in your district. So I mean, it might be valid for you to have a presence on there, just because it's in your district. And
Well, we got two commissioners on there now. One would have to give it up for me to, but it doesn't matter to me, I guess. I mean, it does, but if they want to keep it, they can.
I got no cares either way. I mean, if it's better to have you on there, that's fine. too.
When is it usually meet?
That committee we had met once a year, and they send out a doodle poll or something for one.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not a huge commitment.
Yeah, I could be on that, I guess.
Commissioner Burke.
Mr. Chair, thank you.
Okay.
We talked about possibly just having one commissioner on there and maybe an alternate too. If it doesn't meet that often, if something happens or something's starting to take some traction on some grants or whatever and improvements, then we as a board, or we could just call the alternate in too, couldn't we as well?
Doesn't meet.
Yeah, but we could leave it like this, and that way, I mean.
Except you instead of Dale, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you would be the.
And add Mel.
Dale.
Yep. No, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
And add Mel.
Yeah, and he's on this.
He's on the sheet.
He's on this, the detailed one too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, we have that. All righty, very good. Intergovernmental relations, Commissioner Berg and myself are on that. We meet 3 times a year with representatives from the city of Wilmer and the Wilmer School District. You're good with staying with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Same.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
Was there a tentative date for us to meet yet? Have you heard?
Yeah.
I thought you gave it to me. And
Yeah.
I didn't put it on my calendar, I don't think.
I thought they sent out meeting invites for the year.
Okay. Maybe I did.
I know, the city administrator and
Yes.
superintendent, yes, we did decide the dates, and
Yep.
I thought Leslie's assistant was going to send those out.
have to go check. Thank you.
I can check too.
Okay, thank you. Candio High County Economic Development. Commissioners Imdek, Berg, and myself currently serve there, and I am currently that board, Joint Power Board's chair. Continue with that arrangement. Okay. Safe Roads Coalition, Dwayne.
Yeah, so they haven't met in quite a while here. I don't know if it's been over a year, almost 2 years, because they don't have anybody that is heading that. So when it comes up, if it comes up again, I'd be willing to serve on there.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, we'll leave that as is. Drug Free Coalition, Dwayne has been chairing that the past 2 years. He has a conflict now. And since I'm right nearby and had chaired it in the past, I'm willing to take that back. And then Dwayne would just continue serving as the alternate just in case. Because your conflict is what, Armors? Yeah.
Armors is my.
Oh, we need you at Armors. So. All right. Lake Improvements, Board as a whole, Law Library, Corky. That's,
Mr.
yes.
Chair,
Yes.
has that Lakes Improvements ever met? I'm not really at all familiar with it. Does anybody recall, is that the Kenai County whole Lakes Cola, what did they call that? Marvin Kelvin was quite involved at one time, and Bonnie Erickson, but they haven't met in 4 or 5 years. I think this is another one we can remove from the agenda. It doesn't hurt to have it on there because we never meet, but just one less box to check. And if they start, yeah, I'll make that as a motion. If they start to meet again, we can always, reorganize it. And I don't understand why it was the board as a whole.
That's what it is.
I know, probably long before.
So there's a motion to remove lake improvements from our listing of committees. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson seconds. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Law Library, you're good. Middle Fork Crow River, Commissioner Dale Anderson, representative, and Commissioner Imdek is the alternate.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Pardon?
I'm good with that.
Okay, Roger?
Yep.
All right. And likewise, let's see, MCIT, I'm the current representative. We have an annual meeting, and that's always at the AMC annual conference in December. And then Roger is the alternate, and I'm happy to stay on that.
And I'm fine being the alternate.
Okay, thank you. Mid-Minnesota Development Commission, Roger.
I'm fine with staying on it unless somebody has a burning desire. They meet 4 times a year in the evening, scattered about the region that they cover. So could be Hutchinson, could be McLeod, could be here.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a kind of an evening commitment. And I think that was on a Wednesday as well. But I'm fine with staying on it unless somebody really wants to be on it. Then we'll tell you the details when we meet. Not seeing anything.
I'm fine with you remaining on it. So, all right. North Fork One Watershed. Dale is the representative, and Roger is the alternate.
I think that one might be turned around. I've been on that since it was Crow River Organization of Water and we formed it. So I'm pretty sure it's the other way around. I'm Dale's the alternate.
Right. That's what I was thinking. We should really put them two together though, because they should be side by side like what Corky's is for Hawk Creek, because they're basically the same thing, in a way.
Oh no.
It is different?
North Fork includes all of the Middle Fork. The One Watershed One plan includes all the Middle Fork as well.
But line right below them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So reverse the names.
Yep.
All right. Noxious Weeds Appeal Board as a whole. I know we have noxious weeds. I don't know that anybody.
No, we've never met, but I think statute
I think we
requires
have
us.
have to keep that one. Okay, yeah. And Office of Emergency Management, Board as a whole.
Isn't that got its own board though? It doesn't?
Is that by statute, that one too? or
No,
what?
I think this is one just as needed, like if there is.
Yeah. So, Mr. Sheriff, I mean,
Yes.
I think this one, the last time we had anything to do is, remember the floodplain? Was anybody around when we had to deal with the floodplains? And I think that was part of it. And then the other part, I suppose, would be our building down this Lakeland, for policy over there, wasn't it? EMS?
For the
EMS?
rescue squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like Roger said, more so the planning side of things, like when you do the training, it would be the board as a whole that would oversee that. So I guess I would leave it.
I think we
as
should
is.
do that.
All right. Very good. PAC 4 families, Commissioner Berg is the representative and Dale Anderson is the alternate. And I know that's a passion of yours, so I assume you want to stay there.
Yes, I would like to stay there. And I'm the current chair. I think we have a meeting actually coming up tomorrow. And I think we're going to switch chairs and rotate that somewhat. So we'll see how that turns out. But I think that'd be a good idea. But I am also on a committee. Somehow I got stuck with a lot of different boards I'm on, viewing bylaws and joint powers, because a lot of them haven't been looked at.
There's a theme here.
There's a theme here, and I'm going, wait a minute. Oh, you were involved in that one. Now we got to do that. So that's a subcommittee I'm going to be at next year. So I would like to stay on at least one more year.
And Dale, are you?
Yep, no, that's fine.
All right. Park Board, Commissioners Dale and Dwayne Anderson are our Park Board. You wish to continue?
Yep.
Okay. Personnel and Labor Relations Subcommittee, that's relatively new over the past 2 years now. Chair and Vice Chair sit in on that.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner Adair.
there's a couple of these subcommittees, maybe we should just denote them as subcommittees that you just did on the person, because I think the whole board is technically the personnel committee, right? According to,
Well, I mean, the board really has
For the-
one
yeah.
employee that it oversees directly.
yeah, I think,
Department
the-
heads, are we involved in that then?
In the hiring.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We approve.
I think we had always been listed as the personnel committee was the board as a whole in the past
With the subcommittee that has.
with
been-
the subcommittee, and that's why I'm saying we should denote these as when they're subcommittees, which this one would be, right? Yeah. There's a couple of other ones that where we have the board of a whole, but we have the subcommittee, Health and Human Services, I think is one of them.
Yeah. And speaking of health and human services, that was.
Can't go back.
No, I just bring that, but it was a board as a whole, and I don't know if we have took official action to take it off. I don't see it as down here, but wasn't it listed last year or the year before as a board as a whole as well?
I think so, but that's.
It was never. I don't think we ever taken it off officially. But doesn't matter.
Subcommittee.
We can look into that.
Yeah. I'm not saying we should keep it on there.
Sure. So Personnel and Labor Relations, Chair and Vice Chair. Planning and Zoning, Painesville, Roger, you're the only logical member of that. And tell us why that is again.
I used to think it was they flew into our airspace to take off and land, but there's actually a couple acres of the runway in Candy Lake County.
Oh, my goodness.
We meet once a year, maybe. So
Okay.
yeah, it makes sense for me to stay on it.
So that'll stay. Prairie Lakes Youth Program. Commissioner Berg is currently on that committee, and I'm serving as alternate. If somebody else wishes to be the alternate on that, I would be fine with that.
I would have some interest in that. How often do you meet? I better look at that. Third Wednesday of the month. Prairie Lakes Youth Program. Third Wednesday of the month at the airport. Oh no,
Well, we meet right now over on the campus over here, where the secure building
each month, right?
each month. Um,
Yeah, and an alternate, you ever really miss?
no, I rarely miss, but that's a really a good point. Maybe that's something not necessarily this current year, but maybe next year we might want to look at maybe even possibility of two commissioners on that.
Is that something the board is looking at?
No, but I'm just,
I don't know
I'm,
if it's,
that we can make that decision.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out that maybe next year we should look at that going forward.
Well, and with everything that's going on over there right now, if I was to be that alternate, I would try to attend several of those meetings because it's a lot to get up to speed for.
Yeah,
that would be in their bylaws.
Yep.
yeah. No, but
And do their bylaws permit?
yeah. And I'm just saying this is for discussion. You know, I'm not saying,
No, I'm just-
but before I go back to that board and talk about it too, I just was wondering where we're coming from because we're not. That'll be in our report outs too later. But you know, once this possibility of building a new facility or moving or whatever takes place, we would need maybe a couple people involved.
So,
And in the case of some change in board too, that if I would be around, I said, after another year, for reelection, that's what I'm doing.
so Mr. Chair, I would be, if you're fine with handing that off, I would be fine with taking it as the alternate.
I am, thank you.
So put Commissioner Indeck as alternate.
Yes.
Now I just.
All right. Then on the back page, Prairie Woods Environmental Learning Center Managing Board. Our representatives there are currently Commissioner Dale Anderson and Commissioner Imdeck.
Just, Mr. Chair, just some semantics, they call it the governing board,
Okay.
because they have a board of trustees too, as you see, just.
They don't anymore though, do they? That's what I was gonna ask about.
I've never been.
There is no board of trustees
Yeah,
anymore.
they might have eliminated that.
Yep.
Meetings ago.
Yep. And I'm good to stay on.
Okay. And Roger, you are as well. And let's get that question asked and answered, but if they're still around, Dwayne, you, sir.
I guess so, yeah. I've never been called, so my question would be, do they meet?
I don't think there is anymore. I think they changed that in their bylaws. I think they, like you said, about 3-4 months ago.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
they met once a year prior to the annual meeting.
All right. Well, let's leave all three as is, and then if they don't have a board of trustees, that kind of takes care of itself, and just let us know for next year. Prime West, Commissioner Berg is our representative there, and Dale Anderson is our alternate. Dale has indicated to me that he'd like off that, and I do have some increased capacity now, so I could certainly take the alternate position on that.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd love to stay on there, but I've got a conflict every month. So I mean, it's a great organization to be part of, but it just doesn't work for my other meetings. So.
Yeah, I'd be able to make it. So, any thoughts, comments?
Are you an alternate or do you attend on every?
You attend too.
So we'll move
But it is called an alternate.
It is,
Oh, it is.
yep.
Oh, okay.
But
But
they're required to attend if
they
they can.
strongly encourage it,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. But we only get one vote, and that's from the registrants.
All right. Good there. Shakopee Headwaters, Dale Anderson and Roger Imdak.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I have a question on that one. You probably have the same question.
Mhm.
Is that organized?
I don't know what it would even be. That's what I was gonna ask what it actually is because I mean, it's just a Shakopee. One plan will be coming out now, but that'll have, I mean, that's what,
I think it should stay on there, and I'm interested in all what's going on out there, but I just have a question. I didn't.
I mean, I don't,
If there's an organization, I don't know who chairs it, who's on the board, or anything like that.
I've never heard it mentioned even in the Shakopee, watershed plan or anything. So I don't know what it would be.
Will they have their own one watershed, one plan, or will that be part of Chippewa River?
It's part of the Chippewa River, but it's gonna become a one plan.
Shakopee Creek will have their own one watershed, one plan, because it's pretty small.
Yeah. Well, it'd be part of the Chippewa. It
Right.
won't be, yeah, Shakopee won't have its own, no.
Okay.
No.
So then,
I don't know what it would be.
yeah, so then maybe we leave it on there for now, but find out, and then maybe who's on Chippewa besides just you?
Just me.
Maybe I'd be an alternate or an addition to Chippewa.
Well, you're on that alternate for the Chippewa, aren't you?
No, it's Dwayne.
Yeah. Dwayne is, okay.
That's fine. It's fine. Yeah, let's find out about Shakopee.
Yeah, cause
When you guys go to Chippewa, find out if there's a Shakopee Creek watershed.
yeah, I don't think there is. I think
Just as headwaters.
I can find out.
All right. Southwest 18 Adult Mental Health Board.
So, Mr. Chair,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson would like to go back to Chippewa.
Yeah, that Chippewa, if we could just, if Commissioner Imdak wants to be on there, he could be the alternate.
Oh, hang on one second. Third Friday of every month.
Yep.
That might be a AMC board meeting.
That's what I was, okay.
We'll just leave it there. Sorry.
I think it is the AMC board meeting.
More often than not.
Sorry about that.
All right. So we'll leave that and Shakopee Headwaters. Southwest 18 Adult Mental Health Board, Commissioner Berg and Commissioner Dale Anderson are listed on this document. I know you're heavily involved in that.
Yes, I am. I'm on the executive committee, and we're meeting in February now, or next month, to re-elect officers and so forth. But I'm assuming I might still stay on the executive.
Okay.
I'd like to stay on it.
And Dale, do you sit on that or no? Not even as an alternate?
Well, I don't know if they have an alternate position or how that's actually. I mean, I've never done anything with it.
Yeah, and the structure's changing. We're going to have an official 4 times a year meeting, but the executive board's got to be monthly. So, some changes coming up, and I think that's going down the road. We should look at
Sure.
involving.
I mean, I'd still be interested if
Okay.
it shakes out.
All right.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
We got a few left to go, and we've also got more on our agenda. Could we take a break?
Yes, absolutely. I hoped we could get through these, but that's fine. Let's take let's recess for 8 minutes. Candia High County Board of Commissioners is back in session, continuing with our reorganizational meeting. We took care of the Southwest 18, yes? I haven't checked that, all right? We're down to just our final half dozen that we need to do here. Southwest West Central Service Cooperative, Commissioner Imdeck is representative, and Commissioner Dale Anderson is the alternate.
Mr. Chair, I have a question on that one.
Go ahead.
You said it's the Southwest West Central Service Cooperative, correct? Okay. Has that always been? Because I don't ever recall going to the meeting.
Is there what?
Has that always existed?
Yes.
I don't.
For as long as I know, it's always been on the on our list.
I've never been to a meeting.
Well, we can.
Well, and this is the one through our health insurance, or is this a different one? That's the question I have.
Well, like that school that was built at New London, that was built by the Southwest West Central Service Cooperative.
Correct. Yeah. That's the same entity.
That is maybe a little bit different, so we would still have it on.
I know Ben Boffin's on the board, but I wasn't aware that I was ever on the board there.
Well, we can look into it, and we can.
Maybe we should check with the Southwest West Central Service Cooperative. They have an expectation of somebody being on the board.
Let's leave that off of here for now, if that's all right. And then if we need to reinstate it, we can do that at a future meeting.
I would do it the other way around. Leave it on and determine whether or not there's an expectation, and then you can take it off.
That's fine. That sounds fair enough.
Yep.
All right. And we'll just leave it as is for now. Tourism Committee, that's Commissioner Dale Anderson, representative, and alternate is Commissioner Berg.
Sounds good.
Okay. United Community Action Partnership, Dwayne.
Yep, I can do that. My only other question would be, is there supposed to be an alternate for that? There's no alternate listed here.
There's a question? That's your
My
question?
question is, can we allow an alternate? I mean, I've basically made all the meetings.
On UCAP. I
Yeah.
had the same question, Mr. Chair. That's a pretty important organization
it's
that
big,
probably should have an alternate.
I know other counties, they've substituted an alternate.
And when do they meet?
It is.
They meet typically down in Marshall.
I got fourth Thursday, except their November meeting. They switch it to the third because Thanksgiving. Yeah, no meeting December, and then I think January and February are remote.
And do they meet what in the evenings?
Evenings, yeah. So 5 o'clock they got a meal, and then 5:30 they have the meeting in Irvine Falls.
I could be an alternate if you want one, Dwayne.
What's that, Dan?
I could be an alternate if we want an alternate.
Yeah, I think that's.
I think we should.
Yeah. All right. All right. Vision 2040, Dwayne, you're also on that?
Yes.
Wish to continue?
Yep.
All right, very good. West Central Industries, I'm on that board and I'd like to remain. Unless someone wants to rip it out of my hands. No? Okay. Then West Central Mental Health Housing Woodland Center. So for a point of information, currently all 5 of us have been serving on that board, and in visiting with Dr. Jose. What has to happen is that the federal government actually, HUD actually has to approve the new bylaws. So for the first 2 meetings of this year for that board, they're going to require all of us to to be there until that's approved. And then I believe we were going to go down to two of us remaining on that board going forward. So I would suggest that we plan for that contingency now and select the two that would go forward. But just be aware that we're all going to need to be there the first two meetings of this year, and I'd be happy to remain on there.
Mr. Chair, when are those meetings again? Just
Those are on a Thursday. When do we?
The third Thursday.
Because I don't have this on my
Yeah,
calendar
third
anymore.
Thursday. I think.
Third Thursday.
Yeah.
And that is typically at
o'clock.
1 o'clock.
Yep.
At Woodland Centers.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, too,
Yes.
may I add to that? As this unfolds too, if I recall, clarify with me if I'm incorrect about this, that the property is owned by Kansas County?
All of the rental properties are owned by
So-
Candy, Ohio.
So I think the board probably got to make a decision. Do we want 5 people or down to 2? You know, it's because.
Well, I think we've already.
I'm fine with that, but I don't know, has the board do?
Yeah, no,
the
I
board
think we
action?
already actually had that
Discussion already?
discussion at those meetings, and the bylaws have already been.
But I'm just saying
done
this
and
board,
submitted.
yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Commissioner.
I'm wondering if there isn't two things going on. One is West Central Minnesota housing, because there's also housing that we don't own, right? Mental health housing
that?
that we don't own that they make,
Oh,
or is it all our property?
It's all ours.
Under this, it's all owned by Candioi County and then managed by the HRA on behalf of the Woodland Central, West Central Mental Health Housing.
Mr. Chair, I was just trying to clarify, I'm not disagreeing with the direction we're going, but to clarify that at that meeting, I don't know if we were acting, that, it wasn't an official meeting here at this board, but it was a board as a whole that we always meet, so maybe that action that we take there applies to the board as a whole, then we don't have to as officially, publicly say that here at this meeting. We probably don't. I want to clarify that was all.
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Berg, I think the chair is suggesting that in light of it, bylaws changing, we identify the 2 members that would be on there. Now,
Yes.
if that's the direction that their board is gonna go.
Well, if that's the
Correct.
direction our board wants to go too. I mean, this is
Well-
our property, right?
Well, but this is, so West Central Mental Health Housing is a nonprofit, just like Woodland Centers is. And so it's that organization whose purview this is under.
Yep.
So we don't, when the bylaws change, we don't have an option of saying, no, all 5 of us are going to remain. That was the whole point in changing the bylaws in the first place. Commissioner Emdek?
To Commissioner Berg's point, we do own the property.
Yeah.
And if we give up control, they could sell the property. And this board who owns the property
No.
wouldn't have a say.
We're just delegating that authority to those 2 people being on a board. It's a joint powers board, right?
We'll ask the county attorney if he would have an opinion on whether or not we would be giving up any kind of control. Seems to me that if Candioi County is the owner, nothing can happen without the county's assent.
Yeah, if we're fee owner, we have control.
if you're asking for 2 people, I'd be interested.
Okay, as would I. And so that's what I'm just looking for, is that the first 2 meetings, we're still going to continue business as usual, but once the bylaws are approved at the federal level, then we would be down to 2 members. I know there was some excitement about giving up an extra
I have
committee.
no problem with that.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to clarify where we're coming from, that this board understands
Yep.
that the Candioi County board, or the Candioi County owns those properties, and then we're willing to move forward with it. sitting here at this board to narrow it down to two to be on that committee. And that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Just so
Yeah,
it's
well,
clear
and
that,
that's-
that all the board members knew that we own this property.
Mhm. Yeah. And we did vote on this at one of the last two
Housing
West End
meetings.
Housing Committee meetings.
Yeah, but that wasn't this board meeting. No.
All right, and so then in that eventuality, then myself and Dale, is everybody good with that? All right. Am I missing anything else? Oh, Commissioner Emdek, you wanted to go back to one of our items?
Yeah, is anybody interested in taking my place in Kennewick County Community Health Board?
So that meets quarterly,
Quarterly, is it Wednesdays?
and it alternates between Renville County and here.
Yeah.
And looking for,
Third item.
let's see.
Yes, Candy Renville Community Health.
Yep, so that is on the second Tuesday, typically of each month, beginning in February. So it'd be February, May, August, and November. At 1 p.m.
I would have a conflict.
I could do that, I think. In November, you said was the last time?
Say that again.
November was the last quarter?
Should be, yes.
I thought we just met last month, a couple weeks ago.
That might be a good.
Well, let's go. December.
We might not that long ago.
Mhm. No, I show that we met in November on the 12th. Now that one would probably change a little bit because this year the second Tuesday is Veterans Day,
Yep.
but it should be November still.
I could make it work if you want it, Roger.
Okay,
Okay, I'll let you.
and back to it here.
Second from the top.
Community health, there we go. You'll enjoy that. That's a good board. All right then. So we've gone through the list, and now, are there any other changes? Anything that we haven't already discussed? Then I would entertain a motion to approve the county board appointments and internal committees, board members as alternates to the various committees if needed. All elected and appointed officials are authorized to attend meetings for their respective associations and committee meetings, and authorizing the county board chair or vice chair to sign documents in the absence of the county administrator. This is a slimmed down version of the 4 separate motions that we've typically passed after this exercise.
It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Dale Anderson seconds. Discussion?
Just one discussion, just to make sure that, and maybe a comment from Attorney Baker, if, are we losing anything that we're not meeting the expectations? It's been so long, so many years that we've had like 4 different motions and it was all laid out. And by narrowing it down to one motion, are we saying anything different?
No.
And I'm all for narrowing things down, so I'm not trying to make it more confusing, but.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Any other?
Mr. Baker, we're good to go. And that's all I needed to know.
All right. Any other discussion? And all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Next item, Resolution 2025-2, setting the 2025 elected official minimum salaries. Kelsey. And I think you can stay up there because you've got everything else after this.
Okay. Good morning, Kelsey Baker, Candioi County Administrator. So this would be Resolution 2025-3. Oh, I'm sorry, I lied.
2.
2. I skipped the salaries. This would be requesting for approval on Resolution 2025-2 for the elected officials. These are the minimum salaries. They're not the actual salaries. The commissioner salaries were approved at the December 17th. This is the minimum that the board approved for the commissioners, and then for the county attorney and county sheriff, this is the minimum at step 1 in their class. And so just to clarify that, I think there was maybe some questions. This has been the resolution past practice. And so today I would be asking for approval.
Are there any questions of the administrator? Hearing none, then is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I will move that we pass resolution 2025-2.
There's a motion to approve the resolution. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Dale Anderson. Thank you. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution 2025-3, approval of 2025 mileage rate. Kelsey.
Yep, so this is something that's just slightly different. We're adding a resolution. It's just easier to track a resolution for the year. This is something I can send out for staff. The board should specify approving this mileage rate. We follow the IRS, and so they are going up to 70 cents per mile. And so that would be the mileage rate all county employees, elected officials would receive for the year of 2025. So I would be asking approval on this resolution as well.
You've heard the recommendation of the administrator. Are there any questions?
So move, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Emdek moves resolution 2025-3. Is there a second?
Go ahead, Dwayne.
I'll second.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson seconds. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Memorandum of Understanding for Correctional Officers. Kelsey.
Yep, and as you recall, Connie Mort, our previous HR director, presented the same MOU regarding the schedule bank with our deputies. We just received this a little bit later with our correctional officers group, but it's basically the same concept that they have a schedule bank that's monitored by the management team, the sheriff's office over there, and the stipulations are within the MOU, but it is written the same as the deputies. So I would request approval for the memorandum of understanding with the correctional group.
Thank you. You've heard the administrator report on this MOU. Are there any questions?
No, Mr. Chair, I move to approve.
Commissioner Berg moves approval of the MOU. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Emdek seconds. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Well-being policy. Kelsey.
Yes, so this is something new. It's a new policy. We are creating a well-being committee. We are going to be kicking off the committee next Monday, January 13th, I believe is the Monday. Blanking on it, sorry. And so we would like to have this policy. In essence, this would be something that the board then is recognizing as a whole for the Candioi County organization, that they are taking this into consideration when we maybe bring something forward. And the policy implications, as you can see, I'm not going to read them, but they were included within your board packet. But, we're committed to providing resources and appropriate health and well-being information for our employees. We recognize participation and the value supports and appreciation of this policy. And I will say I can't take credit for writing this. Our SHIP coordinator and along with one of our public health nurses put this together. Bobby Joe Berg, and Brittany Schmalz. And they brought this forth to Lisa and I within the administration office, and we have a representative from each department within the county, including we might have a commissioner, Dwayne Anderson, that will start attending, depending on how often we meet. But that will kind of bring wellness activities or reminders into the county as a whole. And so today I would be asking for approval with approval on the well-being policy.
Mr. Chair. So what we have here is actually the policy?
All right, you've heard the recommendation of the administrator. Any questions? Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I so move. I think it's an excellent idea.
As do I. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson seconds. Discussion. Yeah, I think we ask an awful lot of our employees, and it behooves us to give them the all the support we can, especially when it comes to health in all its forms. So, any other comments? All right, hearing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Kelsey, this one says action item, but can you explain this one here?
Yep.
Work plan?
So I would be asking for action on the resolution 2025-04. And this is just stating when our meeting schedule will be. Obviously, we might add some work sessions in there that would also then need to be noticed. But I'm not asking for approval on the work plan. That's just a draft work plan that gives you guys kind of a roadmap of what's coming up. Now, everything is tentative to change, but it would just be that we are setting the county board, regular board meeting schedule for the year. And so we meet every first and third Tuesday at 9 a.m. in this room. And the addition would be June 17th and December 2nd for the Board of Appeal and Equalization. That's the evening meeting. And then the Truth in Taxation for the December 2nd, that does not coincide with AMC. And so those would be the two meetings that would be outside our regular 9 a.m. meetings. Every other work session, we would still have to follow the public notice and set forth an agenda. And so today I would just be asking for approval on resolution 2025-04. And then the following document, that's the 2025 work plan, is a draft. That is just, like I said before, a roadmap for you guys to look at. Like I've said, those work sessions are already approved by the Road and Bridge and Health and Human Services staff. Those are still tentative to change if the board wishes to change them. So that's something we'll then talk about as well. I will have 2 more work sessions to add once, if the board were to approve this strategic plan coming up at the next meeting. So today it would just be approval on that resolution.
All right, very good. So everybody understands the work plan is just a draft, and there's no action on that. The action comes to resolution 2025-04.
And to clarify, did you say approve the strategic plan?
At the next meeting.
Strategic plan? So we have a strategic plan?
No, the dates.
The overall strategic planning work session.
Oh, I see. Work session.
Mr. Chair, I'll move resolution 2025-4.
Commissioner Dale Anderson moves. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson seconds. Thank you. Discussion?
I just, Mr. Chair, I just want to say thanks, Administrator Baker, about this work plan, the draft. I think it's really nice to see a roadmap for the year ahead.
All right. Anybody else? Hearing none, all those in favor of resolution 2025-4, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. We are down now to administrative updates, appointments, calendars, and committee reports. Kelsey, did you have anything in the way of administrative updates? No. All right. Do we have any appointments that need to be made at this time?
I just have a comment, if I may.
Yes.
Once we make the changes to this, the reorganizational, we'll email that out and verify everything that's on there, and you guys can double check it. And then if, Quirky, you wanna get us that time for the Chippewa,
No, that's me. What, for the Chippewa Hot Creek? No.
The Hot Creek one.
was it Hot Creek? Okay,
I did.
No,
oh, you did, okay.
yeah, and then there was some question about Shakopee Group.
Yeah,
that
and
was
then,
Dor-
yeah,
that
so
was
I'll look into that, but I'll
Yeah, it was Dale, I
include
think.
that again if you want me to, or I'll just email that out to you guys.
Yep, yep.
Okay, just verifying.
All right. Yeah.
Well, I can do my report out. I only got one meeting, so, it's beginning of the month and beginning of the year. We had tourism meeting, yesterday. And, the thing that was really interesting, is she put together, and she does it every month, but this time she put it actually on a nice paper. What the profile of the visitors are for the area, in December. They have a way of checking and finding out facts through your credit cards and through your different places you stay. And the top 5 cities that people were from was Minneapolis, Marshall, Fargo, Sioux Falls, and St. Cloud that came into Kennewick County. And the top origin markets were Minneapolis, St. Paul, Fargo, Valley City, North Dakota, and Sioux Falls. 39.8% of the visitors to Kennewick County were out of state. So it's kind of amazing that we see that many people coming in from out of state into Kennewick County. And the biggest areas that are visited are the city of Wilmer has 49.2%. Northern part of Kennewick County has 46.7, and sorry, Dwayne, you only got 4.1. So it is kind of crazy to see how that does shake out for the community. But the other interesting thing was the top website pages that people look at. Number 1 was events. Number 2 is things to do, eats and drinks, celebrate the lights, fishing, the Popeyes new opening, and Spicer Winterfest in Green Lake. So that was kind of interesting of different things that people are looking up to. But I thought it was really a cool thing that you put this together, and you can see how many people are coming from out of state. I thought that was the 2 interesting things that were in the leisure committee. But there's a lot of winter shows coming up that the tourism committee goes and has a booth at to try and promote our county and our areas for tourism. So they'll be at Sioux Falls and at St. Cloud and in St. Paul for the winter shows. So they do a lot of work to try and promote this area. The tourism does, and the conventions bureau does a lot of work too. So it's a good deal that we have that many people working for our county. And that's all I have.
All right. Thank you. I know that a couple of us have spent some time at a booth for this up at the St. Cloud show. I think
Yeah.
Corky and Ramona have done this previously, and I took a turn once. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
All right, Commissioner Imdeck.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Following our last board meeting, I went to open mic in Wilmer, and unfortunately, JP Coolidge chose the tax levy increase as the thing to highlight on the Facebook page, which resulted in another social media thing that Meta ended up taking down because it got pretty nasty. So gave me an opportunity to spend some time explaining why the tax levies were what they were. On the 19th, I took part in the Kennewick County Primacy Strategy Group monthly meeting. On the 20th, I had a joint ditch meeting in Olivia for Joint Ditch 2. Attended Denise Kragenbring's retirement party. Then we had our Christmas break. And I just lost my month. On the 2nd, we had our work session. On the 3rd, Connie March retirement just last week. And then yesterday was space time for the building committee. And if I may, Mr. Chair, indulge me, I intended to do this at the last meeting, but we ended up running a little bit late because of the legislators who were waiting for us over in the other room, and just wanted to make a few parting comments regarding the last 2 years. And it kind of came to my attention um, regarding the Monarch Butterfly Award that we got. I got to reflecting, thinking a little bit about things that the county has achieved in the last several years, and not just in the last 2 years. I mean, a lot of these achievements transcend calendars, and so some of the things that we should really be proud of in the last several years really is, and I know I'll miss some of them, but the Wilmer Y management of the COVID pandemic, management of the funds from the CARES Act, and ARP, Grass Lake are a few of them that come to mind. But more recently, we can be proud of the work that we had a role in, and sometimes we weren't directly doing this. We were advocates for, say, MnDOT or whatever. Um, but ongoing trail construction this past week, just across, or year just across the road, and added a nice trail to the county. The ramps going from County Road 5 down to Highway 23 were a big achievement. And of course, the completion of the Highway 23 4-lane, of again, which we weren't directly involved, although several of us were involved with the advocacy by going to both Washington and St. Paul on a regular basis. The interchange at Highway 23 and Highway 9 that's going to be constructed in the next few years. The bridge connecting County Road 55 to County Road 5 and broadband deployment. I mean, the committee has been very successful in getting those things done. Increased presence in Washington by engaging a lobbyist, and yes, an award-winning Monarch Butterfly project. That's not to say that we aren't without challenges. The fire at Prairie Lakes was clearly a challenge. The train derailment at Raymond was a challenge. Continued health care or daycare and housing shortages, something we can look forward to continuing to work on. Too few wetland credits for doing road construction. Getting outdated technology improved here at HHS and other places, but I'm referring to down at the state that we talk about every time we go to the legislative conference, the old DOS systems. So we have plenty of old and new challenges to continue to work on. But moving forward, we have a lot of opportunities. We build roads, we build trails, we have ways to do that with sustainable funding. We'll continue to work on broadband and the space study that we're working on right now. The completion and adoption of board operating guidelines would be a good one, the strategic plan. And then there's opportunities that haven't even revealed themselves to us yet. And so I'm confident that by doing what's best for the county and with the great staff that we have, that we'll make the best of these opportunities. And I want to thank all of you for allowing me to serve in the role of chair for the past 2 years. So thank you very much.
Well said, and thank you once again for your service as board chair and for all that you do for your district and for the county and for the region.
Thank you.
Commissioner Berg.
Well, thank you very much. May I just add to that? I think it's really good for the public to hear some talking points of what we've done and accomplished as a board, and for representing them. And we still want to hear so much from the public and continue to be as transparent as we have. And I think we really have. And it's really good to point that out. And also, I just want to comment. I read your article in the Area Lakes Review explaining some of the process of that, and that's important that we get this out, information to the public, how things really work. You know, we just read certain headlines and there's certain opinions out there. And I think we all realize how leadership is getting more and more complicated, you know, as time goes on, especially this last couple of years. And COVID, I think, and somebody said, well, maybe it was the mask or whatever, but it is getting more complicated. But we're getting through all that, and we're accomplishing a lot of good things. So that's really good to hear. Actually, we had an extra weekend here, but with the holidays, that really changed things quite a bit about meetings and what we did do. I think we all experienced a lot of retirement parties this last 2 or 3 weeks. And I wish those people all good luck in their retirement. But boy, we're losing a lot of experience in the county with them, and I think we've made some good hires, and we're going forward along that same line. I had Prairie Lakes Youth Program. I had actually a couple different meetings with Prairie Lakes Youth Program in the last 3 weeks, and one was a special session too. And as you know, we're looking forward, and some of the things that we discussed at some of these meetings was, you know, a recap of some of the things that have taken place so far. The trip out to Washington D.C. with Administrator Baker and Dr. Booth as well, and it was, I think it's a good stepping stone going forward and making really good connections. One of the things that kind of came out of that is there are some money available and different money amounts, the way I understand, and you kind of reported on that too. But the tendency is they want us to be shovel ready if we're going to be looking at building another building, and we're not shovel ready. So we got a lot of work to do. So we can't take advantage of some of these things immediately like we had hoped, except for maybe some of the things that we could apply for to use that we could use in a new facility as well, and starting to get some grants, and because we could use them now as well. We also talked briefly about the trailer. We got a trailer parked, you know, in the parking lot because of the fire and the loss of that building, and we're paying rent on that. And so we're exploring other options for that. That trailer works out really well as a welcoming center and as an office, and it's very handy to have. But we have to look at some other options for that going forward. And so I think we're going to have a lot more conversations going on with the county administrator and the board about our future, where we go with our Prairie Lakes Youth Program. I probably said enough about that already. I would also just the note I made to myself is that I would like to see you mention operational guidelines. We got a good start on that now. I thought we had a good meeting, and that's one of the meetings we all had together fairly recently, and we got a good start on it. I would like to schedule another date as soon as possible if we could put that on our calendar. Because if we don't put it on our calendar, it's hard. Our calendars fill up fast, and it's going to hard to be put it on the longer we wait. Law library. We had a meeting on the law library, and a lot of changes, and there's going to be maybe more reports coming up. We're doing some plans for with legal aid and contracting with them to help out with our library, and I'll be giving an update further at the board on that. So as we go forward, we're looking at doing a lot of different changes in the law library. There was one committee that was about the same year after year, and now we're looking at doing other things, and we do have an option, you know, with the number of fines that came in, that we do have some dollars that we can make some changes and provide some better services for our citizens with the law library that would qualify for some of their services or want some of them. Looking forward. Yeah, I had several meetings on the 18 County Mental Health Consortium, being on the executive committee and looking at leasing a vehicle for staff and using the state lease for that. They need a new vehicle, and so I think we're going to go in that direction. And our work session. I think I probably missed a few things. The CEO, I had meetings with PAC4, being part of the board of that, planning the agenda. We have our annual meeting coming up, as I said earlier, tomorrow. So that's probably about it, what I have right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Berg. Commissioner Dwayne Anderson.
So I only had 2 meetings. The rest got canceled because of medical issues or just the holidays or whatever. But I did meet with Armors on December 18th, and then I had a JD2 meeting with Commissioner Imdek down Olivia on December 20th. And part of these meetings, it isn't what goes on maybe necessarily during the meeting, but it's a little side talk that you do after the meetings or in between when you have a little break or whatever. And it's really nice to hear when you're talking to people that they compliment some of your employees that work for your county and saying how good they are and how lucky we are to have them. And a couple of them are Ace Bonema, and he's over in emergency operations, and he's doing a great job. And he's not very outspoken at all, but it's nice to hear that he does a great job. And the other person would be Austin Hilbrands. He's our drainage inspector. He's doing a fantastic job. And with that drainage hearing, what they said was they pick one of the recommendations they have, or one of the requirements when people do a bid to clean out a ditch now, is they're going to have them with their excavators have to have grade control on them, which means that they don't scoop out more than they have to, and they don't scoop out less than they need to. So that's really encouraging to hear some small little details like that, but it does make a big difference in the long run.
I think it's interesting. The grade control, I wasn't exactly sure what they were talking about, but it's a GIS type of thing that they know where that bottom of that ditch is, so that operator doesn't have to worry about getting too deep or getting too high. It's cool stuff.
I'll just say one thing also about the Popeyes. My wife is really excited about it. So we did stay in line that day. That's my report. So.
All right, thank you very much. I have just a couple of things very briefly. Going back into December, it certainly was a month for retirements, and I didn't have my own retirement party from my day job, so you didn't miss anything. But we also had a couple of items. Of course, we had our legislative lunch, which I think was entirely useful, and sat in on interview with staff for a new HR director. One thing I do have coming up, I was voluntold by Matt Hilgard at AMC that I wanted to be on the AMC CPA/mandates work group. So we're meeting on Thursday down in St. Paul, and that is out of the General Government Committee, where we're looking at ways to request of the legislature and the state in general for additional CPA funding and mandate relief. So much of what we do here is driven almost exclusively by either state or federal mandates, and the funding doesn't always follow those mandates, and that has potential to impact our local levies as well. So we will be working on that. And I just wanted to say once again, thank you to Pablo and to Abdefat, who presented the invocation this morning. And their point is really well taken, that there's strength in unity of community, and I think that's a great piece that we can take as a board as well. Finally, I want to recognize that, as we said earlier, we have a great media covering our board meetings, but we're losing one of our familiar faces, Shelby Lindrud at the West Central Tribune. This is her last meeting with us here. She is going on to a different opportunity, and appreciate your coverage and your stories, and we will certainly miss your smiling face around here. And as you can see, Levi Jones will be the Tribune's new reporter, taking on this assignment, and welcome, and we wish you well, and Ralph, we still see you. Does anyone else have anything else for the board? Dave?
Well, I did forget one thing that I wanted the board to know. I did have an EMC extension virtual meeting on the 19th. And I'd reported in the past that they are looking at redoing the 4-H building, and they've had two huge donors give two big donations. So they will start on that project already. They don't have all the money, but it really puts them over 3/4 of the way to where they want it to be. So that names will probably come out later who them donors are, but for right now, the amount and how much and who they are is not out. But it's a great gift that somebody has given to get that project underway.
Outstanding. That's great news. Anybody else for anything for the good of the order? If not, then we will adjourn the Candido High County Board of Commissioners.